Hello everybody. So here I am to do my next video, my awakening journey part. I'm outside today. It's so nice. I just felt like I want to be outside, and it just feels like the right place to do it. So okay, I did watch my other video, and I noticed that I did a lot of pausing and kind of taking a while, so sorry about that. I'll say I did try and think about what I really wanted to say this time, but I do also want to mention that since my NDE, which is near-death experience, I don't know, just so if nobody knows what that means, if anybody might not know, but since then I've kind of always been kind of forgetful and a little bit ditzy, but it did get worse after that, and it's still something I'm kind of working on, but that did affect some things there. So sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, it's just something I can't exactly help, but I did notice it, so just wanted to touch on that just a little before I kind of dive in. Okay, and then also I noticed there were just a few other things I wanted to mention before diving in, which was I hadn't mentioned that I do have another brother as well, but he was taken pretty much right away. I don't really know him. He was taken away, and he's on an Indian reservation, and I have tried looking for him, and I just still don't know where he is or much about his dad or anything like that. And so yes, and then my other brother was the foster care one, who I always wish I could have helped and did something there. Okay, so, and then just a little refresh on, so I have always had the gifts. They were just kind of, as a teenager, more scary, and I didn't quite know, and so didn't really tell many people. But then and then I did always also heal animals. Like, I was always doing that, and I kind of just started thinking about it because I'm still on my own journey myself. Everything kind of comes, but it kind of comes slowly, so then it's like I have to look back and think, wow, like I've always healed. And so I'm saying that now because I've gotten into my mentors helping me with that as well. And so that's always this stuff has always come natural. It's just realizing there is bad and there is good, and so I work for good. I'm a love and light and work for good, and I protect myself, and I do all that now, which I didn't know about before. And so that's why I say I have a mentor and I have somebody helping me, even because we all can keep learning. We all need to keep learning and taking the advice of others and helping each other. That's what it's really all about. With no matter what it is. There are things each person knows that other people don't. So, alright, so back into, I left off at, I was about to get into having my first child, because that's when, about when things started shifting, I guess. So then with my first child, I was in my early 20s, so I was in my party time, and I did some dumb things, made some dumb mistakes, and that's all about learning. I think that's our time to really say, what am I gonna do? I made those mistakes, and it's happened, and all you can do is learn from it. I mean, when people keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again, that's when it's hard, and when you're not learning We should be ever learning, ever changing, ever growing. So anyway, then we found out, so I stopped being wild, got my grown-up self together, which I always kind of had that, but I was just kind of back and forth, being a grown-up, being a troublemaker. So yes, then having a kid, though, you know, to me is a huge thing. Okay, well, I'm like, nope, this is stopping, and this is my child now, and I focus. And once I had that, this is when my kind of looking everything up, researching, looking at what I'm putting into my child's body is a huge thing to me. Like, I do not want to hurt my child. That's the last thing I want to do from my stupidity or my ignorance. And people don't mean it, but it happens. And for me, it was more of a driving force of, okay, I'm not gonna put anything into my body that could affect my child, and I'm not gonna put anything to my child that can affect my child. So I went on a spree. You know, I've looked up, we try and eat mostly organic, we buy organic, and yes, we do eat out as well. Everything's about balance too, guys. I really want to stress this too. And a lot of the time we have to go through one extreme or the other to find the balance, but sometimes we can learn it from watching others. But yes, so about shots, this is when all my really awakening into that kind of stuff happened, is finding out, okay, what's going on in the world, what's my child going to be affected by, and finding the truth in it all, because there are many lies and deceit out there. So it's about putting pieces of puzzles together and finding the truth for yourself. And I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a partner who does it as well, so we can do this together. If one doesn't know, then the other does, and it's a really beautiful thing. So that's where that journey of mine began, and it's just whew, now it's like, wow, we know and can put a lot of things together. And all my kids I had naturally. I was afraid. I did not want anything put in my body that could hurt my kid. And that started when I had a child as well. And so yes, all mine are all free of synthetics. I'd like to say, and we try and keep everything all natural. It's like to be as close to the earth as possible. So, and I'll dive right into, whoops, got an ant on me. Okay, so, alright, and with that first relationship, though, it didn't end up working out. I was abused, and there was domestic violence twice reported, you know. I think the first time I fell into old habits, right? I said, he didn't mean it, it's okay, we're gonna get through this, he didn't mean it. And well, I was wrong. So come to find out, he had some issues that I didn't really even know about until he came out and said it, and it was just things that I didn't want to live with and I didn't want to deal with, and I wanted to be more. I always strive to learn my lessons and better myself, and that's just me, and that's how I've always been. I want to do good, and I want to help people, and I want to be there, and I'm loyal. You know, that's just always been me. So going into then me and my now, who we've been with, Rico, for a while. We've been together, wow, it's been like 7 years, about, almost maybe 7 years this year. And so we didn't plan on having any, but we did. So here we come into our first child together, so my second. And this is when things really started happening to me more as far as messages. So while I was pregnant, I started getting messages. And so I've got my journal, and I've written down. I started going into meditation, which I didn't really know exactly how to do, but at that time, but I mean, now I know, and it was right. It's just kind of it sometimes comes naturally to people, so, which it did for me. So I did start to meditate and reach out and ask, and there are still laws of nature too. Like, that's what sometimes people don't understand when you are a spiritual person like me. There are still laws to nature, and you have to protect yourself. You do invite things in, or things can come in. You choose to invite things in, but things can come in if you don't put the boundaries. So, and that's just laws, rules of the realms. So, good and evil, and it is real. So, yes, and I'd get them and I'd write them down, and these I didn't know at the time, so I had to find out later. I'd get these messages and look up who it was, or ask, because Rico more knows, and I'd look it up, ask, and and I was being contacted by saints, angels, archangels, ascended masters, and ascended masters in this area of work is known as Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, and those types. So yes, I was being contacted, and Mother Mary is one of my closest, and I don't know the stories like he does with that stuff, because he was raised in a Catholic family, so he's actually really helped me get to know the stories behind all these people, so I think it's really neat. And then I've learned about the archangels and that thing, and they were coming too, and now that's who I work with, is those angels, archangels, ascended masters, and past loved ones. It was my calling. They called me. And yes, so it started happening then with my second, and then I had him, of course. Then we go through that time, and then I started reaching out to more people after that, like more spiritual people, and I found some I really clicked with, and especially my mentor, who now is my mentor. I've been going and seeing her for probably about a year now, but then I just recently became a student, just to really fine-tune the gifts that I do have, so I can use them properly for all of you. So that's where I'm at now. I'm using them. I'm just really being comfortable in them. It's hard when you're born with this, and it's something not many people understand. And in my line, it is not work of any evil. It is purely good. I like to bring up an example just of in the days of Jesus and that stuff. There are prophets in the Bible. There are people who have known things. There's Jesus himself, who's able to has a beautiful story, and did everything he did for mankind. So please, sometimes try and have an open heart and mind with us. There's a lot more and more people coming out and telling their stories and getting comfortable with themselves, and we're here on your side to help you with your gifts and open up yours, or even if you don't have them, we just are here to help. We want to advance everyone and get on this level of love and God and truth. So here we are. So on to my journey about my near-death experience, and this is why I've really, really started coming out. So then I was pregnant with my third, and I was telling the doctors, like, there's something wrong. I just, oh, my little bang was like sticking up there. I was telling the doctor, like, I know there's something wrong. I just don't feel right. And they just kept saying, oh, it's normal. It's normal. And I'm like, okay, you know, it's not, but I know it's not, but I'm just gonna, what can I do? I can't make you do anything. So, and I'll say, with my second son, I was with midwife. So I was at a birthing center is where I had him. But then my third, I did end up going to a hospital. And it's kind of weird. It goes with my story, you know. It ends up, that's probably why everything was meant to be the way it was. So yes, I did, but it was a midwife with the hospital. So, on my third one. So, yes, they were saying, nope, nope, it's fine, nope, it's fine. So, had my son, and it was good, smooth pregnancy. And here. We ended up going to a different hospital because I had bad depression with my third, and it was probably a mix of everything. Like, I knew something was wrong, nobody was listening to me, but then also I had my 1-year-old, my grandmother, who we were taking care of as well, and then I had to start getting help with her come in. Oh, there's a crazy story that ties with that too. Oh, just some crazy stories, you know. And so yes, I was pretty depressed. So I decided to go to a class, which was at a different hospital closer to me, because this other one was like 45 minutes away. But they were the only one that had a midwife in the hospital, so that's why I went there. So then, anyway, I went to this class, and it was a lot closer. And I was like, and I really ended up liking it, just the feeling of the place, and it was called St. Joseph's, and it was on Lincoln Road. And if you know, my third son's name is Lincoln. So our third son's name is Lincoln. So I'm like, okay, is this a sign or what? Now you know that's a sign. That's a sign. So after that, I'm like, I think I might end up going there. I still wasn't sure. Well, when it came time, we were going there. So we went there, and it's a good thing we did, because everything just plays out the way it does after that. I did end up, so I went, had him. Everything was good. Pregnancy was great. I mean, it went fast, nice and easy. That was probably my first real opening too, was I told my body what to do, even when they said it wasn't ready. It was ready, and I was good and fine. And I said, you can do this. Open up like a flower. Here we go. And out he came. The doctor couldn't get in there. So, yep, then we were there for 2 days. We came home. And I was feeling worse. But to me, I couldn't decipher between worse and better, because, I mean, I had been pregnant and depressed, so, I mean, what's worse? And I just had a baby. So, this went on for, I guess about 2 days. And then I started saying, I got a headache, and I thought, I'm gonna sleep it off. So I did. But then it came back. So, and I never napped. Like, I was one, I'd try and nap, and I just couldn't. So but I was napping. So then this second nap I had in a day, which is, wow, way crazy. I took a nap again. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, if I just died right here, I would be okay with it, because I felt so calm and peaceful, and I thought, this is a weird thought to have. But I really didn't think much of it. Now I do. But then I didn't. And so, went to sleep. Drifted off to sleep. And then Rico comes in 2 hours later and says, it's dinner time. You should get up and eat. And I'm like, oh no, I don't feel like getting up. I'm so tired. I'm tired. He's like, well, you've been sleeping for 2 hours. I think you need to get up. And I'm like, wow, 2 hours I've been sleeping? Yeah, I probably should get up. I really didn't feel like it, but I got up. Not long after, I got this massive headache. Massive, I mean, I couldn't see. I couldn't see. Like, light hurt my eyes and I just couldn't see. So, I said, there's something wrong with me. Rico, I need to go to the hospital. There is something wrong. So, we were able to get a babysitter. We went to the hospital and they said, we need to get you upstairs right away. You have postpartum preeclampsia. Do you know what that is? And I said, well, I've heard of it while I was pregnant, but I didn't know you could have it after the baby. And they said, we got to get you up there now. My blood pressure was like 190 over 130. And I'm up there. They're pumping me intravenously with blood pressure medicine to try and get my blood pressure down. And I remember them talking about the machines weren't working. All the electronics went wild. The machines weren't working, so they couldn't tell. They'd have to check things manually, and they couldn't tell. And then my blood pressure wasn't going down with medicine, so then I remember this doctor came in, and he like putting on these clothes real fast, and he's like, we're gonna get you down there right now. You're gonna have a stroke if we don't get your blood pressure down. We have to start this treatment right now because the medicine isn't working. And usually I'm one to question. I am. Because I have to find the answers for myself. I don't believe what I hear all the time, which it's a good trait to have. You really should look things up and figure things out for yourself and try and figure out what the truth is. Because, yes, there are many deceits and liars out there, like I said. But anyway, so I trusted this time. I mean, I just had this feeling, I just knew, and I said, okay. So then the next thing I remember is being wheeled down the hallway, and I'm seeing kind of some weird shapes, and I'm seeing some weird shapes. And sorry, I had a bug on my toe. It must have bit me because I got a little scratch, a little mark there. But anyway, so then I'm seeing these weird shapes, and I'm not sure if I'm talking to anybody or not, but in my head I'm saying, like, you look really weird. I see some really weird shapes going on here, and I don't know if this is normal or not. But looks crazy. So then the next thing is I'm down in the room, and I just remember it was kind of a dark room. And Rico's there, and the baby's there, and I wanted to know if I could still keep feeding the baby. And the doctor said he didn't think so. But he left and came back and said he did some research and looked around, and I love this doctor, and he said it seems like yes, it would be okay. So then I was still able to breastfeed my son. So I'm so grateful and thankful for that. And then the machines were still going crazy this whole time. My blood pressure was still reading high for a while, and I just started kind of eventually Rico was with me. This lasted, I had to be on the treatment for a full day, a full 24 hours. And he was still with me. And eventually, the doctor said, go home and get some sleep. Take the baby and you guys go get some sleep. And she's fine. She needs sleep too. So he left, and we got really close. We got really close with my second, really, anyway. I mean, we've been through a lot together. A lot of ups and downs. But all of this has brought us so much closer and brought out the best in both of us. And all of us in the whole family. But this was really a connecting moment for us when I'm almost dying right there. We really connected and got things out. That yes, we love each other very much. And we wouldn't want anything to happen to the other. So there was that ginormous bond there, and it was beautiful. And of course the kids too. Big bonding times too. That's, oh, I love the feeling of that. So beautiful when you have your babies and bond, all the family bonds. And so that's when, so then I was kind of having things in between, but I mean, it was just kind of quick snippets until I was able to really get in there. So I did see, I was kind of going through like a trial, I like to call it. There were cloaked figures, and they were like kneeling as if they were giving an answer to if I could live, because that was, I said, I just want to live to see my children grow older. I want to be here and see that. And they showed me my kids older, and I said, okay, well, thank you, you did give me what I asked for, but I do mean on Earth, I would like to stay on Earth and be there. But if that's what I get, I'm going to be grateful for what I can get. And so I'm going through a whole bunch of stuff. I saw so many things. I saw dark, and I saw dark things and shapes and figures, and it felt dark. And I wasn't afraid, but I did say and feel like, and I said, well, I'm not going to that place. But I just took it in and observed, and I saw a beautiful place, and I saw the white light, and I felt such a beautiful feeling of light and love, and that is God. That is God. It's nothing to see, physically see. And I saw beautiful colors and beautiful shapes that you can't even imagine on Earth. Like, it's just, you don't see it. It's a feeling, a vision, just all these senses that you don't even know what they are here, and all these, it's just beautiful. And yes, it was beautiful. I was kind of going into there. Now, meditation, I will say, can get you so close to this. I don't think you don't truly experience this on Earth in your lifetime, unless, of course, you've gone through a near-death or had some sort of one-time thing, or maybe a few. But it's just not a regular thing. But you can make it close to regular. You want to meditating and really being in yourself and owning yourself and being your authentic, true self of your true purpose. That is what brings you the closest to the love and light and truth and God. Shut off the TV, shut off the surroundings, but know what's going on. No. You have to know what's going on still. But you have to use your judgment and not what somebody else is telling you to. Okay, so just wanted to throw that in there. I guess kind of tied in. But back to that then. So yes, I saw and felt, and you can't imagine what. And I saw dark, I saw light. And well, I was able to stay because here I am. So I still had some very big health issues after that happened, and that's when I really learned a lot more of herbs and things from the earth and things like that to try, and because I do not want to be on medicine. I'm very natural, right? So I'm like, I'm not staying on. No. So, and yes, I was able to get off and be better, and we had to have some help after that. I wasn't able to walk for a while. I was very my blood pressure still would go up. I had to go to the hospital the doctor regularly, and it was kind of lasted a month or two. So that was another, I'll say, difficult time, but there's lessons in everything, and we have to know this too. It's like everything happens for a reason, and there are lessons. I was told about my NDE. I didn't know that's what it was at the moment, but I was reading back in my journal, and they told me what to do to be healthy, and they told me something was going to happen. They didn't exactly say what, but that's what it was. So yes, I do get messages. That's why this also is very important, because after my near-death experience, my teaching lesson from that was I need to be myself and spread my messages and spread and help people and use my gifts I was brought here with, and don't be afraid. And if people still want to think something, fine, but it is what it is, and I had a very rude awakening into it. But I'm here, and I don't want to disappoint, and I want to do my journey that I was meant to, and I want to help humanity like I was sent to do and reaffirmed I need to do. And and for a little bit after, I still didn't quite understand it. And family. That's another thing that, of course, family is huge. Like, just, it doesn't always have to be blood. It just people you can connect to. That's a big message also, is creating what it is you're good at, and creating and bringing it out into the world. Connecting with people, connecting with each other, compassion, being compassionate, even though we're all going through things, so we're all at different levels, but still sharing with each other and being able to understand, and community. And we need to get back to love is the key, just loving one another. And this does include sticking up for the bad and evil going on. This is real, and we can't let it tear us apart. We cannot let the bad, because there is bad and evil, and we cannot let it control. We have to come closer together, and that's why I say knowing things, doing your own research, finding out the truth is a big part of this great awakening, and this getting us into this next level, if you want to call it, or ascension. We need to be true to ourselves and true to each other, and that means also if there are things wrong, sticking up for what's right. This does include that. And doing everything through love. The love and light of God. God is love. God is pure. God is beautiful. And wanting to live up to that standard and getting there just will bring us all so much closer. And children and kids are so important. They are the next generation. Without them, we don't have this. We don't get to have this earthly experience. So making sure our children are healthy and happy, and we're healthy and happy, for us to be our best and teach them the best, we have to be our best to teach them right and the right way, whether it's law or not, whether there's good and bad and there's evil. And we need to protect our children and ourselves, and we need to know what's really going on. One of my favorite sayings, or two that I put together, is ignorance is bliss, but the truth will set you free. And it's so true. It's time to start opening and expanding our minds, hearts, and souls, and getting on your soul's journey. And this I can say from experience, and I can say it confidently now, and I feel so good about that, because that's been one of my biggest things is, do I want to pursue this? I'm so afraid of what people might think. And here I am. I'm ready, and I'm here to help, and we all have different skills, and we all have different abilities. Oh, there is a hawk just flew by. So, I'm ready to get out there and help people, and I'm ready to be helped in return, get guidance as much as I always can in teaching, and ready to get us out on our true soul's journey. So, I hope that we can get on this together. And yes, so what I'm working on and what I do is healing. And I forgot to mention that. I healed myself. In my near-death experience, I healed myself. My brain was bleeding. And I was instructed. I was being instructed and told what to do. So I was sucking the blood out of my brain. And I was just suctioning it. And I would just suction it with a tube and pat it with, in my mind I used a cloth. And I was just sucking all this blood out, and there was so much blood, and it was going down the rag, and I saw so much blood. But I was instructed, just get the blood. Stop the bleeding. So I was soaking up all this blood, suctioning out all this blood, and eventually it was gone. And even that has taken me until just recently to realize, wow, like I healed myself. I had help, of course. I mean, I don't give myself that much credit, but we do control. We control so much, okay? We control our actions and our free will. That's what we have in control of. But if you have a purpose and a destiny, in which we all do, and our goal is to get and be able to stay in heaven, you have to fulfill your purpose and your destiny, and you'll keep coming back until you do. Oh, it'll keep on trying to get through to you until it happens. So, yes, I'm a healer. I've been doing that since I was young, and it all kind of hits you one day, and I'm like, I heal. I have since I was younger. Like I said, I would heal animals then. I healed myself, and I've been working on it actually with my mentor as well. So, and messages, I get messages directly from Source, whoever that source may be. Angels, archangels, ascended masters, past loved ones. I'm able to give you messages. And I'm still kind of learning. I'm in my own process. We're all ever learning, so I'm still finding things out on my own and working on everything. But that is what I was born with and what my capacity is as of now. And there's a butterfly. So we got lots of creatures visiting. We really have a lot of beautiful animals out here we get to see. We have cardinal families, woodpecker families, owl family. Just heard them the other night. And what are our other birds? We have like lots of bird families. Blue jays. So they should be coming again soon. And anyway, so yes, and butterflies and squirrels, all that good stuff. We did have an armadillo. I don't know where he went. But yes, so anyway, lots of little beautiful critters we have here. And then, okay, so before I'm done, I also wanted to touch on how important it is that we're on our journey. And I know I already have, but I mean, Rico and I are very comfortable. We are very grateful for everything that we have, and we are privileged and lucky enough to be in a beautiful house in a nice neighborhood, in a, have little toys that we have, and but those are just things. And once you discover, and once you start, this is another thing, once you start working to help people, okay, working to help others, you just receive so much abundance when you're working to help others and you're already thankful for everything that you have. It's like things just kind of start flowing to you. And I had to do this a lot, is just realizing you're worth it, okay? Don't think that you're not worth, because all these things that are things, they're things and they're fun and they're enjoyable, yes, but we had to really work and work on our spiritual, really mostly, like being thankful for what we already have and not necessarily asking for much more. But if you ask, you shall receive. Oh, living proof. And there are many of us in this, doing this, who are living proof of all this. You manifest and you create. You can get things. How to get it is your mindset, is thinking of and knowing what you deserve, being thankful for what you already have, so daily saying thank you and you're worth it, and love too. And love is the biggest thing. There's love and fear, and you choose which one you're going to go down. I prefer love and truth, and I hope you all do too. So yes, you can create abundance and joy and happiness. Don't be afraid. Own it, love it, live it. Alright guys, so I'm going to be done now, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I love you all. And if you have anything you want to share with me, or want to reach out, maybe I can help you, maybe you can help me, either way, no matter what, I am open to receive love and light and beautiful souls. Okay guys, yes, namaste, love you all, bye.